some people lose weight faster than others on GLP-1 medication? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Megan. I'm a board certified physician in internal medicine, lifestyle medicine, and obesity medicine. And this is really important because I actually prescribe these medications all the time. I actually talk to patients about their weight all the time. I've helped hundreds of patients lose weight, and I'm here to help you too. So if you're confused about your weight, if you have questions about weight medicines, and if you want medically based answers to your weight questions, you are in the right place. Okay, so today we're going to talk about why do some people lose weight faster than others? Because I'm sure this happens to a lot of you. Maybe you started this medication, you're losing maybe like a pound a week, and your brother, your cousin, your coworker, your friend, many people, they're like, you feel like they're losing a lot more weight than you. And you're like, what's going on? Is there something wrong with me? What's happening, right? But I would also say you never really know what's going on with people. So it's always a good idea, I think, for people to just put the blinders on to a certain extent with this medication, because it definitely does affect people very differently, person to person. There's a lot of variability. It's all over the map in terms of how people respond. Some people have a really easy time with it. Some people have a really hard time with it, and it is a little bit hard to predict sometimes. So you also never know, like that person, like your coworker who's lost a lot of weight, maybe their appetite was really, really suppressed, or maybe they're having a lot of reflux, or you just never really know what's going on. So just keep that in the back of your mind. One thing that can really help, though, is if somebody's making lifestyle changes as well. So if somebody is really taking this opportunity of starting this medication to really think and change how they're eating, if it was something that they wanted to change, that can really make a big impact in terms of not only how they tolerate the medication, so maybe making sure they're having smaller meals, nothing that's really heavy or has a lot of fat content in it, because that can be very irritating for some people. Sometimes the processed foods can be very irritating or cause worse side effects. But just overall, if somebody's taking this transition time and thinking like, you know what, I'm going to eat a lot more fruits and vegetables. I'm going to really look at my protein sources. I'm going to really drink a lot of water. I'm hitting the gym. If they are taking this opportunity to do a whole, like an overhaul, that person's probably going to lose weight and probably going to feel better than somebody who's not. So that's a really important thing to keep in mind, because that might be going on in the background for people as well. Another thing that can really affect whether somebody is losing weight faster or not is their medical history. So there just are some medical conditions that, people don't have as much of a response as to these medications as other people. So diabetes is a really good example. People who have diabetes do lose a lot of weight typically on these medications, but if we're comparing them to people who have overweight or obesity and don't have diabetes, typically the weight loss is not as pronounced for the people who have diabetes. Also, if people have untreated thyroid issues, if they have reflux that's really interfering with how much they can go up on the medication, or any sort of other underlying GI issue that's really going to slow the pace, like if they have really bad IBS and maybe their doctor wants to really take it slow on titrating up because they're not sure how they're going to respond, the past medical history of somebody is going to generally play a big role in how fast somebody can lose weight on this. And again, it's not a race, because you are not going to care in 5 years if it took you 12 months to lose the weight or 18 months. You just won't care. All you will care about is if it's sustainable and you figured out something that worked for you and that you can keep doing. So just keep that in mind too. It's definitely not a race. Now, of course, another reason is medication. So there are a lot of medications that can cause weight gain on their own and can fight the GLP-1 medication, so people aren't getting as pronounced or as large an effect as somebody who's not on those medications. And I've made about 1 million videos of those if you want to check out the rest on my channel. But some really well-known culprits can be things like gabapentin, pregabalin or Lyrica, tricyclic antidepressants. A lot of those we use for chronic pain. And I've definitely seen that they can hinder weight loss. And then, of course, other things like SSRIs, SNRIs, those I think, people tend to be responsive to the weight medication, but it depends on the dose. And they definitely are pretty common reasons that I see people come in because they're frustrated about their weight before they start the weight medication. So it's not that you can't lose weight if you're on them. But if somebody was on a really, really high dose of Paxil, I'm going to be not surprised if they don't lose as much weight as I would anticipate they would lose if they weren't on Paxil. So those are just things to think about. And again, of course, I always have to take somebody's whole health picture into account. So sometimes these medications are really helpful and we don't want to take them off, but we just don't expect maybe that somebody's going to achieve absolutely the optimal, or the average weight loss. I mean, they certainly could, and everybody's different. But if they don't, maybe they achieve like 12% weight loss instead of 15. That's not surprising for me. And then, of course, there's other classes. Sometimes beta blockers interfere, some sleep medications interfere, psychiatric medications like some antipsychotics. There's so many. I've made a lot of videos about these, but let me know if you want me to make a video about another particular class that I haven't yet. But again, these medications can also really affect how pronounced the weight loss is for somebody when they start a GLP-1 medication. And then some people are just lucky. I mean, sometimes you just can't explain it. Some people just lose a lot of weight quickly. Those super responder people that you probably know one or two of them. And, good for them. Good for them. Everybody's got their own trajectory. And I will say sometimes the super responder people, they do not have a very smooth ride in terms of the side effects. So if you see somebody and they've lost a lot of weight, just know you don't know the whole picture and just try to keep those blinders on somewhat and try not to compare yourself because, again, everybody's different and these medications do affect people quite differently. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions afterwards, please leave them in the chat down below. If you want to work with me directly, you can. I do work as a life coach to help people with the non-medical aspects of weight loss as well. So if you can't get yourself to change those eating habits, you can't get yourself to the gym, so many things are coming up. There's changes you want to make, non-medical changes, and you just can't get yourself to do them, you should chat to me. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and subscribe because it's the place for medically based answers to your weight questions. Thank you so much for watching and please be well.